So still have a 5-port and a dual core. All right, this is basically an Alaska unit. Okay, this will be going away as well because the efficiency and everything is pretty darn close with this. We'll get it close. Okay. All right. Top load. That's the ones I was talking about. You'll notice how everything is going top load. We've put a lot of time and effort and R&D into the top port side, not so much on the side. So 70 to 200 CFM, and then on the exhaust defrost units, okay, we only have a 70 and a 150 now. And those are both because of Minnesota. Because Minnesota is the only state in the union that requires an HRV. All right. It's mandated by code. And so that being the case, all right, we're not going to cut our nose off to spite our face. All right, so we're going to keep that going. All right. But here is the latest and greatest. The efficiencies on the stuff I was showing you there were mid-60s, low 60s to mid-60s. And what I'm saying by efficiency, that's what we call the SRE. That's the sensible recovery efficiency. Okay. So all that stuff was 60, 65 at max. We asked our guys to come to us and get us a minimum of 75% efficient. They came back with 80%. That's our minimum now on these units, on the hero units, okay? So a couple of things, 80% efficient, all right? It's a counterflow core now instead of a crossflow. And I'll show you what that looks like and how that works in a minute, all right? We made this thing even easier to work on, if that was possible, which it is. And we now are going to balance this without even using dampers. Okay, cool stuff. Remember, we got 2 motors in there, right? And they're EBM, 100% speed controllable motors. Why aren't we using that? We are. Okay. A little bit different look, but much more compact. All right. This thing has a smaller front footprint than its counterpart. Okay, in CFM. Okay. Everything's accessible outside. You don't even need a tool to set this thing up, okay? Your Magna-Heli ports are right there on the outside. You use an EcoTouch controller to actually do your balance, okay? We went to metal collars with rubber seals. Very nice. You'll notice that these two still have the plastic cup. What that's for is when you're doing the outside air, when that's coming in, usually you want to use insulated flex on that. So we give you a place to stuff that insulation. That's what that's for. Okay. 5 models, 2 EC, 3 AC. Okay. There's your CFMs. Notice that 250, normally that CFM in the model number kind of tells you pretty close to where the CFM is. Notice that 250 gets out there to about 275. These 2 models here also have EC motors, so they have another feature called Max, where I can boost these another 50% just for kitchen exhaust. I'm sorry, for bath exhaust. Like if you're going to pull from the bathrooms, which is the best place, what we can do is we can eliminate the bath fans and use your HRV as your bath. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So here's that counterflow core. So we got the air, all right, coming in, but you notice it goes down and through and back up a lot, spends a lot more time in that core, doesn't it? Okay. When I size HRVs, I always size to medium speed because I want to slow that air going down through the core. If I slow the air, my efficiency will be better than if I'm speeding through there. It doesn't have as much time to recover, right? By the way, that's a polymer core instead of aluminum. We're getting better efficiency out of the polymer than the aluminum. The only time we go to aluminum now is when we go to Alaska at minus 25 and below. Okay, I think I mentioned most of these. We're going to balance with the EcoTouch. So there's no balancing dampers in there to go rattle, 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 rattle. You'll never see that again. It's gone. Okay. Let's see, what else? Serviceable without tools. When I mean that, you take this door off, obviously you don't need a tool for that. It's got 2 latches, and then it literally slides straight up. So your clearance to the front is almost nothing, just enough to get the core out, right? Everything is done from the front, nothing from the sides or the back, okay? The motor literally slides out. Cores obviously slide out, but the whole motor assembly, that whole plate, just slides out and the motor's on. It has a Molex plug on it, you unplug. You could take it down to your truck if you wanted to change the motor, if you ever had to. Wall hanging system. You can get chains if you want them. Wall bracket, level it. One guy takes the unit, puts it on, he's done. All right. Much simpler to install. That's kind of where we're headed, is make it easy for the contractor. All right. Deeper drain pan. You know, not so much having to worry about overflowing a drain pan. Okay. These. Here, watch real quick. Watch. Drain pan. You're going to get to see the new flush mount drain connection here. See it? Right. I don't know what happened to that. It was working the other day, and it started today. So. Anyway, so what we did is we went flush mount on that. All right. Before it had like a barbed fitting that you would use, and people would break those off. All right. And so this way, it's all encapsulated up inside. They just stick their hose on, and they're done. All right. Fully foam injected. Okay. When you saw that picture, you can kind of see that's all foam. All right. And then it's got a metal case around it. So what that does is that increases my efficiency, all right, because I'm using high density foam in there. And so I have no places that metal are like touching the air, and so it's all foam. And I mentioned the metal collars. I like that way better. And oh, the electrical box is fully external. So the one tool you would need would be either a nut driver or a screwdriver to open that up to get to the circuit board if you ever had to. All right. The only reason you'd ever get to a circuit board would be if you were changing. Okay, because all of the connections were those little things that pop off on the outside. Okay. Meets or exceeds ASHRAE 62.2. That's our fresh air code that everybody has adopted across the country. Energy Star, if you're in Canada, because the U.S. does not recognize ERVs and HRVs on Energy Star, but Canada does. So we do have the Energy Star. HVI, that's Home Ventilating Institute. You have to have that. You can't sell anything. And the rest of that, that's all Canada stuff. One of the reasons we build our HRVs in Canada, number one, they have a powder coat line, but we're starting to get away with that with pre-pending metal now, but is every single home in Canada gets an HRV. So it just kind of makes sense. That's why all of them are there. Right? Only one manufacturer is in the U.S., and that's Reno here in Wisconsin. Okay. Actually, they're in Madison.
I've never been to Wisconsin.
You've never been?
I want to go.
Yeah? I've been there, but usually it was in February, and I didn't want to.
No, please don't go.
Just a thought, all right? It made me shiver right there. Okay, so what sets us apart, all right? Outstanding warranty. We've always had the quality, okay? Now we have the efficiency that we needed, okay? And in my opinion, we're the most serviceable unit out there. Being an ex-guy that did that stuff, I can look at it with a different mind than other people, right? And you know, I was lucky because I had little hands and I could get into places that a lot of guys couldn't, right? All right, and then that last one, real important, okay? Because our goal is to remove some of those legacy units that are in the 60% and just go with this. Okay, if I can bust like 5 SKUs out of there and go with these 5 SKUs, so we had to keep the price down a little bit in order to do that. Okay, so that's our direction that we're heading. All right. EcoTouch. You guys have seen this before, right? No? Yes?
Not much.
Not much? Okay. We've had this control out for quite a while, all right? It's going through a redesign right now. We're going to modernize it a little bit more. It's fairly modern, but it needs a little more modern. And we're going to do some other capabilities with it, like being able to add like CO2 sensors and things like that to it. Maybe make it where the EcoTouch could be just in a mechanical room and have sensors in them, because, people are getting away from putting stuff on the wall, all right? You've seen the average home now has like 3 things on where their thermostat is now, I'm not that guy, I want one. I don't even want that one, really. So, but the big thing that we did, though, was going with the commissioning, okay? In other words, the balancing of that unit. What we're going to do is we're going to use that EcoTouch with a manometer in through those holes that you saw in the front, and we're going to balance that. We're going to see where it is on the supply side, we're going to see where it is on the exhaust side, and then what we're going to do is we're going to slow one motor down or speed one motor up, okay, whatever we're going to have to do. Now, soon, I was told that we're going to have a commissioning kit that's going to be available, and what it'll be is an EcoTouch, a digital manometer that goes Bluetooth to your phone, and a pitot tube, and all in one nice little box. So that'd be kind of cool to have. All right. Now let's talk about ERVs, energy recovery ventilators. Okay. When I say energy, now I'm talking about the total heat. Okay. I'm talking about the moisture as well as the sensible that you feel, right? So, same thing. But you'll notice now I'm in Mississippi or Florida somewhere, right? And I've got hot, moist air. That's where these were built for, by the way. I got hot, moist air coming into my house. And I'm exhausting nice, cool, dry air that I paid the utility company a lot of money to do that to, right? But same thing though, high to low, right? Oop. That button, thank you.